Yoga for ugly people. So if you're an ugly person and you want to improve your beauty, your attractiveness, and you've come to yoga for that reason, then you're in the right place. So obviously, this isn't the exact video. I'm not a complete monster. What we're looking at here is attractiveness. And many of us feel ugly at times. You know, sometimes I look in the mirror and I feel like, oh my God, I'm fat, or I'm short, or my eyebrows are too big, or whatever, you know, whatever, my beard's, whatever it is. You know, so we all have this worries about ourselves. So I think, you know, certainly self-acceptance is something we can work on in yoga, as opposed to accepting however we are. We have postures for this in EYP, self-care posture, for example. Sometimes I ask students to be grateful for different parts of the body. So put your hand on a part of your body that you like or that you're grateful for. Being aware of the great gift of being embodied. So when I'm moving, even if I'm ill or a bit older, or, you know, I've got an injury, just being really developing that sense of gratitude for my own body, which can take away some of the sense that I'm being bombarded with from these media adverts and imagery of, you know, airbrushed, skinny, six-pack, muscly, tall dudes all day. That, you know, and I think it's worse for women, as far as I can tell. Many of my female students say it's even worse for women. It's certainly not great for men these days. That I'm being bombarded with this, yeah? So actually being a little bit positive in my own sense of self and developing gratitude for my own body, I think is absolutely the foundation here, yeah? That being said, I think it's also helpful to say, yeah, I'm interested in being more attractive. Let's be honest, maybe by my definition, by my values, but I think that's part of life for many of us, whether we're married or single or old or young, whatever it is, that to be attractive, yeah? So what makes us more beautiful? What makes us more attractive? Well, I've done whole training courses on this around the world for straight people, gay people, all kinds of people, and really looked at this subject. If you Google beauty black belt, you'll come up with like hundreds, probably about 100 videos on what makes people attractive from the kind of inside out, from an embodiment point of view, rather than from a shallow point of view. So, you know, one extreme is saying we have to look like the media says. Another point of view is to say I'm not interested in beauty and attractiveness at all. It's just not honest for most of us, yeah? Even like punks are interested in it, right? They have their greenest hair with the spikiest hairstyle, the best leather jacket. You know, we are interested in this. So I would claim that the sort of status or clothes or makeup is actually a very small part of that. I've known people who are physically, by any standard, sort of quite kind of ugly physically by the general standards of symmetry or society's sense, or any society almost, but who still really found a lot of partners and people were very attractive because of their charisma, their presence, their warmth, their openness, you know, this looking at basic yin and yang are the two embodied capacities. I think the first thing is to decide if you're more of a yinny or a yangy. This is a little bit gendered, but not entirely. I want to open it up, and I don't call it masculine and feminine, because you do get plenty of yin men and plenty of yang women, and actually how you build that through the postures. So if you look up yang postures and yin postures, you'll find ways to build your openness, to be a little bit more yin. There's literally yin yoga, but more generally. Notice how my voice changes, yeah? If you're a yangy, I just got a bit more attractive, yeah? If you're, and you know, we all depend, and we're different things in different situations, but we still have a basic type, right? If you're more of a yang and you want to build that sense, you know, it's the more firm postures, the warriors, the pushing postures, the entering postures, that clear intensity of what you're doing. And if you're a yin person, all of a sudden it was like, oh, you kind of woke up to that sexually a little bit, you know, maybe a little bit. Yeah, so being clear, working with yin and yang in the body for me is a good thing. Of course, health as a foundation, big part of yoga. You know, it's hard to be attractive if you have leprosy, not impossible, but it's harder. And ethically, I think that's a big one. So working on look at the videos on ethics, like, you know, if I were to like kill a kitten on camera, I would be a lot less attractive to you, right? Because you'd be like, bad person, yeah? So ethically working on ourselves, I think, you know, being kind is attractive. I find kind women very attractive, yeah? Being an upstanding man and a kind man as well, I'm sure, you know, if you're gay or you're a heterosexual woman, equally for you, right? So the ethical side of things we can develop through yoga as well. So we've got health, we've got ethics, we've got mindfulness and presence, you know, who's not, you're just way more attractive. I've noticed this, I was at a yoga festival, and after like 2 days, I was like, where did all these attractive people come from? You know, like on day one, I was like, oh, normal people from London, cool, I'll teach, whatever. And after 2 days, I was like, wow, bloody hell. You know, everyone's just glowing and shiny and gorgeous. Now they're the same people. You know, it's quite a small yoga festival. They weren't different human beings, but they're in their body, connected to the ground, connected to the sky, feeling present. That's a huge one for attractiveness. And then we look at these specific capacities of yin and yang, and I'd recommend looking at some of the other EYP videos for that. So, if you're feeling ugly, the self-love and the self-care stuff is the place to go first. My wife specifically says, she says, you know, as a woman, that's the most important thing, she says, as a woman, for her own attractiveness. She's really studied this a lot, and I believe her. And I know as a man, for me, if I don't have that inner confidence, that inner self-belief, you know, like women just don't even look at me, you know, it's massive. So that's the place to start, both by way of self-love, but also by way of, you know, if you want to be attractive in a wider sense. Yeah, and then the other pieces I've mentioned. So, I hope this isn't too controversial and the title hasn't freaked everyone out. So enjoy being more attractive through yoga. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you can subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. More importantly, however, get the newsletter. So the newsletter you do, is that right? In the box here? Okay. So why you would want the newsletter, so you hear about the best videos, so you actually ask me questions, you can reply to the newsletter, I'll reply. You can hear about events, teacher trainings, other things that are happening, and stay in touch more reliably. So newsletter there.